Hello and welcome to this lesson, in which we are going to continue modeling the ship. For this lesson, we're going to begin with the cannons. First, activate the polygons mode and select these two polygons over here. Don't forget to select the same two on the other side. We should try to make both of the shapes look as similar as possible. What do I mean with this? For example, this point over here and the same one behind should be moved a little bit. We don't need this to be totally perfect. As we are working with a low poly model, a perfect symmetry is not needed. But try to get a nice result and make these two polygons look as similar as possible. This is fine. Once you have done that, right-click and choose Extrude Inner. First, make a small extrusion, and then make a bigger one. Now, again, we should try to make these two polygons look similar. To do that, select these points and scale them accordingly. Don't forget the ones on the other side. It doesn't have to be perfect. Now select these polygons and extrude them to the inside. Not too deep. This is okay. Grab the Loop Selection tool and select these two frames. Of course, select the ones on the other side too. Now extrude them. Create a cube. This will be the shutters of the holes where the cannons are. Place it over here and scale it properly. It's very simple actually. Duplicate it and place it on the other hole. We'll create the symmetry for the other side of the ship in a short while. This way we won't have to create more cubes. Okay, select these two cubes, right-click and choose Group Objects. Click on this button and choose Symmetry. Then place the group inside the symmetry. In Mirror Plane, we need to choose CY. If we set any other two planes, the symmetry will be different, so have it in mind. Alright, let's begin with the cannons. To create them, we're going to use something called lathe. Open a new document and go to the right view. Grab the pen tool. Go to the attributes and set the type to linear. Now let's draw a cannon. It's actually very simple. You don't need to overcomplicate things. Like this. Try to replicate what I'm doing. The base should be a bit wider, but in the end the shape is up to you. You can edit the points if you need so. Click on this button and choose Lathe. Then drag the spline into the lathe to generate the shape of the cannon. Go to the attributes and reduce the amount of subdivisions. Activate the curved shading to see the polygons. Just play around with the subdivisions. I think 6 will do. Remember that we are working with low poly elements. Click on this tag and lower the funk angle to 0 degrees. Select the lathe and make it editable. After that, go to Simulate, Cloth, Cloth Surface. Then drag the lathe into the cloth surface. Now go to the attributes and increase the thickness. A value of 12 will be fine. Also lower the subdivisions to 0. With this, the cannon is pretty much ready. In any case, if you want more subdivisions, you can increase the value. Or you can even have 2 different copies to decide which one you want later on, the one with 0 subdivisions or the one with a subdivision. In my case, I'll use the one without subdivisions. So, select the cannon and press Ctrl+C to copy it. Return to the main project and press Ctrl+V to paste it. Now we just have to place it properly. To create the other cannons, we'll use a Symmetry, just like before. Place a duplicate here. OK, now select both cannons, and before proceeding, you can rotate them a bit if you want. Well, again, select both cannons, right-click, and choose Group Objects. Create a Symmetry object and drag the group inside. And now we have the cannons on the other side too. If you don't like the shape of the cannons, you can go back to the previous document and do some editing. For example, I'm going to select the points on the top and I'm going to scale them up. Alright, let's make the ropes, which in this context are usually called lines. There will be 2 over here and maybe 2 more on this side of the ship. To begin, we need to grab the pen tool. Now we need a more comfortable view, so change to the right view. We're going to create a line that goes from here to here. Super easy. Create a point here, and another one here. Click on this button and choose Circle. Don't move the circle. Just go to the attributes and change the radius to 2. After that, click on this button and choose Sweep. Now drag both the circle and the spline into the sweep. Return to the main view. Now change the plane of the circle from ZY to XY. Increase the angle to change the amount of subdivisions. Also, lower the radius to 1 or even 0.5. I think this thickness is fine for the line. Select the spline, activate the points mode, and try to make a selection here. See? Even though it's not visible, you can modify this point however you like. In my case, I'm going to drag this point further away. Now we will need a duplicate of this line. We can do it using a symmetry, or we can just copy and paste it. Alright, let's try to place some more ropes on top or on a side of the ship. Let me close these tabs first. Grab the pen tool and make sure that, in the attributes, the type is set to Bezier. Now try to draw a line like you would do in Illustrator. Don't forget to make these curves. When you are done, press Escape and then edit the points if you need to. Again, create a circle spline and reduce its radius to 2. Before we change the plane, create a sweep and drag both the circle and the spline into the sweep. The line is inside the ship, so move it to where it's visible and check that the plane is right. It should be XY. Reduce the angle to lower the number of subdivisions. Remember that, even though the points can't be seen, you can select them and edit them however you like. If you need it, go to the right view. And if you want to edit the points, use the pen tool. Double-clicking on any points makes the handles appear, and you can use them to modify the curve. Go to the spline, and in the attributes, if you increase the angle a lot, you can reduce the subdivisions to a minimum. I think that a value of 20 is okay. Or 14. Alright, now place the line where it should go. You can duplicate it by dragging it while holding Ctrl. Place it properly, and then use the Symmetry method to create the lines on the other side. You know how it goes. Select both lines and group them. Create a Symmetry, and place the group inside the Symmetry. Done! Let's end the lesson here. See you in the next one!